You ever just sit in the quiet, and in the real quiet, not the absence of sound, but the absence of noise, the kind where you can finally hear your own thoughts? For years I was running from it. I was filling it with parties, with dates, with a constant low hum of someone else's presence. I thought that noise was happiness. I was wrong. This isn't a story about giving up. This is a story about what happens when a man stops chasing the world's definition of a full life and decides to build his own, brick by brick, in the peaceful, powerful silence of his own company. This is the solo man's revolution. And brother, if you're feeling that quiet pull, that whisper in your gut that says there's another way, you're already part of it. My battle didn't start with a bang. It started with a slow, sinking feeling in my chest. I'd be in a room full of people, laughing and feel completely alone. I'd be lying next to someone and feel 1,000,000 miles away. I was playing a character, the guy who had it all together, the guy who was always on. I was following a map I didn't even remember picking up. The map said, find a partner, build a life, create a family, be surrounded, always be surrounded. The destination was always we, but the map was wrong. Or maybe it was just for someone else. For me, the path felt like walking through mud. Every step toward that we felt like a step away from me, and I didn't even know who I was anymore. I was a collection of reactions, what I thought she wanted, what I thought my friends expected, what society quietly demanded. I was a ghost in my own life, haunting the halls of a house I didn't build. The loneliness wasn't in being by myself. The real gut-wrenching loneliness was in being with others and knowing the real me never showed up. He was locked away, gathering dust. And I was terrified that if I ever let him out, no one would be there to see it. So I kept the door closed. I kept playing the part. And the quiet inside me just got louder and louder until it was all I could hear. It was a Tuesday night. Nothing special. I was washing a dish, looking out the kitchen window at the dark, and it just broke. This quiet voice, this thing I'd been drowning out for years, finally spoke. It said, I'm tired. Not tired from work, soul tired, bone tired, tired of the performance. That was the moment. The battle wasn't against being alone. The battle was against everything inside me that was screaming that being alone was a failure, a defeat. The battle was in my own head, every single day, a war between what I thought I was supposed to want and what I actually needed. And that Tuesday night, what I needed was silence. The first revelation was the scariest. It felt like stepping off a cliff. I realized that being chosen by someone wasn't the same as choosing yourself. I had spent my entire life waiting to be picked. Picked for the team, picked for the job, picked by the woman. My value was something I put in other people's hands and desperately hoped they wouldn't drop. The first time I spent a whole Saturday completely alone, no plans, no texts. It was terrifying. The anxiety was a physical thing, a buzzing in my hands. But by sunset, something shifted. The buzzing stopped. I had chosen to be there, with myself, and for the first time, I felt like I was the one holding my own value. It was solid. It was mine. It wasn't up for debate. Then came the space. I never knew how much I needed empty space, both around me and inside me. When you're always connected, always in the mix, your mind becomes a crowded room. There's no room to think a thought all the way through. Solitude emptied that room. It wasn't empty like a void. It was empty like a clean garage or a blank canvas. It was potential. In that space, I started to hear my own voice again. Not the one that was worried about what to say next or how I was being perceived. My actual voice. The one that knew what it liked, what it hated, what it was curious about. I found music I actually enjoyed, not just the stuff that was playing in the background. I started reading again, getting lost in worlds without feeling like I should be somewhere else. I was exactly where I was supposed to be. This led to the third realization, the one that changes everything. You start to build a relationship with yourself. Sounds silly, I know, but it's real. It's the most honest relationship you will ever have. You learn what you need to feel calm. For me, it was a walk first thing in the morning, no phone, just the air on my feet on the pavement. You learn what triggers your anger, your sadness. You stop blaming other people for it. You sit with it. You ask it, why are you here? And sometimes it answers. You become your own best friend, not in an arrogant way, in a gentle way. You learn to talk to yourself with kindness. You learn to forgive yourself for your own past mistakes, the ones you've been carrying like stones in your pocket. You finally take the stones out and leave them by the river. The fourth revelation was about energy. Most of us are running on empty, constantly giving our energy away. We give it to the job, to the drama, to trying to fix people, to maintaining connections that drain us. I saw my social energy like a battery. Every interaction was a drain. Some were small drains, some were massive power surges that left me in the dark. Solitude is the charger. It's the thing that plugs you back into your own source. You learn to guard your energy like it's the last currency that matters, because it is. You stop saying yes when you mean no. You stop showing up to things that you know will leave you feeling hollow. You become selective, not because you hate people, but because you finally respect your own energy too much to waste it. You realize a quiet evening that fills you up is infinitely more valuable than a loud party that leaves you shattered. Then, the big one, the fifth revelation that rewrites the entire script. Happiness is not a group activity. We are sold this idea that joy is something that only happens between people, that your biggest laughs, your deepest peace, your most profound moments of contentment must be shared to be real. That is a lie. I have sat on my porch and watched a storm roll in, the smell of rain on the hot concrete, and felt a joy so pure it was almost painful. And it was mine, entirely mine. I didn't need to turn to someone and say, "Look, isn't this beautiful?" to validate the feeling. The feeling was enough. I have cooked a meal, just for me, a stupidly expensive steak, and eaten it in total silence. And it was a celebration. You learn that you are a complete circuit. You can generate your own light. You don't need someone else to be the switch. This doesn't make you selfish. It makes you sovereign. It makes you whole. And a whole man has so much more to give when and if he ever decides to give it. The final twist, the one I never saw coming, was this. The world starts to look different. When you're no longer desperate for connection, every interaction becomes a choice, a genuine offering. You talk to the barista not because you're hoping she'll like you, but because you're genuinely curious about her day. You meet up with a friend not out of obligation, but from a place of true, abundant desire to connect. The pressure is gone, the neediness evaporates, and people feel that. They're drawn to the calm, settled energy of a man who is complete on his own. You stop attracting people who want to complete themselves through you, and you start attracting other whole people. The dynamic shifts from "what can I get" to "what can we create?" It's a quieter world, a more real one, and you are finally fully present in it. This path, this solo revolution, it's not a retreat. It's not building a fortress to hide from the world. It's forging an armor of self-knowledge, an armor that isn't heavy, it's light, it's flexible, it protects you without imprisoning you. It's the quiet confidence of knowing who you are when no one is watching. It's the strength that comes from knowing you can handle the silence, and that within that silence you found a friend you never knew you had, yourself. This isn't about swearing off people forever. It's about rebuilding your entire foundation. For years, I built my house on the approval of others. It was a shaky house, always on the verge of collapse. Solitude is the process of tearing that old house down and building a new one on bedrock. It's slow. It's hard work. Some days you'll feel the old loneliness creep back in. But it's a different loneliness now. It's a clean loneliness. It's the feeling of a big, empty, beautiful house before you move the furniture in. It's full of potential. And you know, deep in your bones, that this house is yours. No one can take it from you. No one can grant you eviction. You are the land, the architect, and the king. So if you're hearing that same quiet I heard, don't run from it. Don't turn the music up louder. Sit with it. Ask it what it wants. It might be the most important conversation of your life. This revolution doesn't need a manifesto. It doesn't need a leader. It just needs one man in one room, deciding that his happiness is his own to build. It's a choice to stop chasing the noise and start listening to the truth that was inside you all along. You ever just sit in the quiet? I do now, and brother, it's the loudest, most beautiful sound I've ever heard. If this connected with you, if you're on this path or just curious about it, let me know in the comments. Tell me your story. And if you want more of these raw conversations, you know what to do.